Hey ladies, thanks for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Mitzi and I'm a paper girly, and if you're a returner, well, welcome back. Okay girls, today we are going to talk about the traveling journal. You might have heard this as the Sisterhood of the Traveling Journal. There are videos all over YouTube, all over Facebook, all over Instagram, all over the TikToks, everywhere. I have been wanting to do this for years, and I have never had a group of gals to do it with. So I thought, you know what? Now I have this channel, I bet I could get a few girls to come and join me on this. So this is my notebook, my journal, and it is just a plain old basic notebook. I got it for, I want to say, about $7 at Michael's. And it does have a band, and the band is, well, I'm going to say if you have one with a band, it is going to be helpful because this notebook is going to get chunky. However, with all that said, is the notebook that I'm actually going to be sending around? I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure yet, and the reason why you will see as we move on in this video. Okay, so this is my first page. And what it is a interactive journal. An interactive journal that you send around Red Robin style to a group of friends, a group of gals, and then you each do the interactive pages. So here in mine, this is the sign-in page. I have this little card. It says sign in, and then there's space for everybody to put their name and the date that they received it. So if you get my notebook, then this is what you're going to do on this page. And it is literally just scrapbook paper and scraps of paper glued into a notebook. And you can just make it your own. You could do it however you like. Obviously, you know me. I like the pinks. I like the vintage. I like the polka dots. I like the flowers. So that's what mine is going to be. It is going to be very pink, very vintage, very floral. So in here, on this side, I have a little note card that you open up, this little envelope, and this is my welcome note. And mine just says, welcome to my traveling notebook. Please fill out the interactive pages and add up to 3 spreads of your own. So this is a spread. A spread is 2 pages. So because I'm having a group of 6, which means 5 other ladies are going to be added in 3 pages, 3 spreads that is going to be 15 pages altogether. But we will go over that kind of toward the ends of this. So this, I just, I printed this out on my computer. I added a sticker. I made a fun little envelope. And full transparency, this is actually an envelope that I got out of one of those paper books. And I just cut it up to put it in here and taped it down. And you know me, I just use, where is it? I just use my double-sided tape. That's all that I use. I used my double-sided tape. I used a bunch of papers. And then the last thing that I used one of these. And I got this off of Amazon for about $22. And you get the little tapes that go inside. And then you just click it around. It's totally old school. But I love the look of that. And so I grabbed one of these. And there will be a link in the description for this down underneath this video. Okay, so my second page is my photo album. I have my photo in here. It says photo album and add your photo. And what you're going to do in each of your interactive pages is you are going to want to add a little bit of direction just so girls know what to do. Granted, you can watch online videos. It's pretty easy what we're asking for here, but I just like to have a little bit of direction. So that is my second page. My third page is a build your own quilt. And this is just literally pieces of paper. I've made a quilt. For me, this is meaningful because I actually do quilting, and my thing on the quilts is there is always going to be a black polka dot element, whether it's one single square, whether it is part of the binding, or whether it is on the back where you put a little thing that says, made by whatever. There is always going to be a black polka dot somewhere on any quilt that I make. So I just took some stickers, made my little square boxes, and then in here I have, again, I have the directions. Please add 3 quilt squares to my quilt use pattern in the envelope. And so inside of my envelope, I have a little square, and you can use this to know exactly how big your square is supposed to be. And then when you're done with this, then you're going to take this and you're just going to pop it back in. So that is my next page. And then the next page is all about reading. I am an avid reader. I know that a lot of us here enjoy reading. We are actually going to be starting a book club situation over on the Paper Girly Studio Facebook group. And if you're new to my channel and are interested in that, then there is a link in the description underneath this video that will pop you over to our Facebook group. You answer a couple of questions, it pops you in, and in that group, goodness, we just have a good time. We share our journal spreads. We do we're going to do the book club over there. We're going to also, we do Happy Mail exchanges once a month. We do a lot of things over there just for the gals who want to come and join in on more of the community aspect. It's kind of a two-way street over there where we can both share things. So here I have these little reading cards, and then all I'm asking people to do, and I'm going to put a little note in here. I haven't finished this yet. This is just an example of writing down books that you might have read, books that you maybe are planning on reading, just any type of book that you want to have information that you can give back to me. So each girl, there are going to be 5 girls in my circle. So each girl gets a card, and then you just pop it right back in here. And again, this is just scrapbook paper that I had laying around that I need to use. And this is a great way to use up scrapbook paper. Then the next page we have here, this is going to be a recipe book page. And this is a recipe book that I took out of one of my Daphne's diaries. I did have to cut it down in order to fit inside this notebook. Again, just paper ephemera from whether it is, I think this is from Paper, the appetizer edition that just came out. And then this is just some scrapbook paper that I had laying around. So that I just taped it in. And I did take a couple pages out of this just to keep the bulk down, because gals, these books do become bulky pretty quickly. And granted, I mean, it is what it is. That's why I said, if you have an elastic, that is a great way to use it on one of these type of books, but you don't have to have one. In fact, I know Natalie's book is just super. I mean, she is a chunky girl. The Notebook. We're not talking about Natalie. I'm talking about the Notebook. And so I actually probably at some point then I might be making some bands for my group of girls, so that you can just use a band in order to pass it on. So that is that page. Now this, girls, this is the reason why this might not be the notebook that I actually use. And I'm going to just tilt it up because there is a glare. My notebook fell apart. Because, it was chunky. It was starting to get chunky. And then I thought, if I just kind of cut it down the middle, then it will help it keep not as chunky. Girls, greatest of intention did not quite happen the way that I thought it was going to work out. So, I mean, could I make this work? Of course I could make this work. I could just throw some washi tape down here, and goodness, maybe I will. But again, I mean, you're talking to me, the paper girly, you know how I am about certain things. And so I might be redoing this in a different notebook. But this is just, my me page, about me. It says about me, and it has things like my Paper Girly Studio sticker. It has some photographs of myself, and then my favorite things. And we all know what my favorite things are. They are coffee, they are Diet Coke, they are Sour Patch Kids, and Hello Kitty. Besides paper, obviously. So that is my me page. And then over here, the next pages that I have is just sticker pages. This is going to be my pink page. The next one is going to be my purple page, my lavender page. And then everybody can just stick in stickers. Stick in purple stickers here, stick in pink stickers here. It's pretty easy peasy, that's what we do. And then I have the blue page back here. And I've put a couple stickers in just to give you a visual idea of what these pages are for. So that is what I have so far. And granted, look at this. Again, I just ruined my notebook. I ruined my notebook coming up with different ideas, trying to keep it not to become bulky. However, I realized that, guess what? That's just part of how it goes. Your notebook is going to get bulky. It's going to get bulky. So I'm going to play around with this and see what I can do to, rectify the situation. And because we are covering this up with scrapbook paper, I have my tape down. We're going to just play around with it, see how we can do it. Because I do have other spreads. Obviously, I love coffee. So I want to do a spread where everyone can put in their coffee order. And obviously, if you're not a coffee drinker, then you can just put down like your tea order. Every page will have an explanation if it is an interactive page. And so you just, can go online to get ideas. That's what I'm doing. I literally am just going online to get ideas for the different spreads that I want to do. And then what happens? And then girls, what happens at the end? What's going to happen at the end is that then I am going to take my notebook. I'm going to ship it off to the next person per, the requirements of what I will let everybody know. That first group is just going to be a group of 4 ladies. It's going to be me and Natalie and 4 other ladies. So I will have all the explanation of all the different rules for what has to be done to be a participant in the very first Red Robin roundabout. I guess it's just Robin. Round robin. I don't know why I said red robin, but round robin of the Paper Girly traveling journal. But then you're going to get the notebook. You're going to get a notebook, and then you're going to come in here. You're going to do all the interactive stuff. You're going to put your picture in. You're going to put on your quilt square or whatever, happens to be the interactive pages in the book that you get. And then at the end, once that all is done, then you are going to add in your spreads. And your spreads are not going to be interactive. They are just going to be spreads about you. Spreads of things that you want to, information you want to give out. Now, gals, do not give out personal information. Do not give out too much personal information because, do I trust us here? I do. I do trust us here. But at the end of the day, we are strangers. And so you do not want to give out too much personal information. So just, when you're doing your spreads, think, if somebody wasn't somebody I could trust, then would I want them to have this information? So beware of that. Beware when you're putting things in to make sure that you are not giving out too much personal information. I have seen online just the craziest of things out there. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that this person put this information inside of this notebook, because somebody could use this, in a very nefarious way if they so chose. And we don't want that type of information out there. So what you're going to do is you are going to get, at least in not my notebook, and everybody, gets to choose. And it's depending on how many spreads that you make, how much room you have in your notebook. But in my notebook, like I said before at the very beginning, when I said here, add in 3 spreads of your own, that means that you get a total of 6 pages. 1, 2, 3. So that is your pages. That's your 3 spreads. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back, front, back, front. And then you're just going to add in your information, meaning whatever type of spreads. It can be, sharing little bits about your life, where you live at. Maybe a spread about the city that you live in. I'm going to put one in here on mine about Seattle, and it will just be pictures and information about Seattle, about my, hometown, as I call it. And that will be one of my spreads. And that's something that you could do then for somebody else. And that's probably what I will do in somebody else's notebook, is I will have a spread about Seattle. And then I will have a spread just about me. Just about me. And granted, if you watch my YouTube videos, I've shared everything about me. But it will just be basically me on paper, information about me. Things like, my favorite color, things like my favorite foods, that type of thing. It's just information about you that you are sharing with the next person. Because this notebook, this one is mine, and eventually it is going to make my way through the circle back to me. And then I will have this to keep to do whatever I want. And we all know I'm just going to, put it away and just hold on to it forever and ever and ever. So that is what the traveling notebook is all about. I am planning on finishing mine up by the end of May. So this is what I'm told people already, is that if you would like to be in that first group, then I'm going to put out a post saying, "Hey girls, I'm ready to go." And the first 4 gals that have their notebooks ready to send out will be the first 4 people that join us, me and Natalie, in our first roundabout of the traveling journal. And then once we, go through that, and there is a time, you will have 10 days with it, and then you will pass it on, mail it forward, priority mail, so that the next person gets it within 3 days. They will have 10 days with it, on and on and on. And yes, there is the financial obligation about mailing it on. And girls, I've said this in the Facebook group, and I'll say it here on YouTube. If I don't get my notebook back, I am going to be highly, highly upset, because I have put a lot of time, a lot of thought, and frankly, it will be a lot of money by the end of the day of what I have put into my notebook. Because yes, could you probably do this with things that you just have, in your craft room, at your desk? I'm sure that you could. But, I know us ladies, we're going to go out, we're going to buy additional stickers, we're going to buy additional things to put into our notebook to make it look as cute as possible. I realize that. You realize that. And we're not fooling anybody saying that we're just using stuff from around our house on this. So yeah, if I don't get my notebook back, I'm going to be really upset. I'm going to be really upset if anybody doesn't get their notebook back. So this first round is only going to be 6 people, because I want it to go through quickly. It will take 3 months to go through all the different gals for my notebook to get back to me, where I feel good that, guess what? I think that this is going to be successful. And then I think that if I have a positive outcome from it, then it will make me want to do it again. And then we will get another group together, and then another group together. And that is my plan on doing this, because I do not want it to be something where you're waiting for a year to get your notebook back. I like things to go quickly. So that's why I'm doing it in smaller groups. However, if it is a positive experience, if it looks like everybody's getting their notebook back, then it will just be fun to do over and over and over again. Because God knows I have, scrapbook paper up the yin yang. I could use scrapbook paper inside of paper for days and days, months and months, years and years. Gluing paper onto paper is probably one of, right after journaling, my favorite thing to do. So that is just an example of the girlfriends, or the paper girly traveling notebook. So I hope that if this is something that you are thinking that you might want to participate in, then I hope that you will get started on your notebook if you want to be part of that first round. And granted, if you're thinking, I want to do this, it sounds like fun, however, I want to take my time, or I need to take my time, take your time. Take all the time you want, because after this group, then we will be doing another one and another one and another one. And I don't want anybody to be feeling like if they don't get in this first group that, they're, SOL. They're not going to be able to participate, because I am enjoying it so much. And this, to be totally honest with you, I did all of these pages I did in just one night. Was I up for a long time? Yeah, I'm a night owl. And actually, I ended up being up really, really late, because I was just having so much fun doing it. So yeah, once you have the idea of what your spreads are going to be, then it really is just about, gluing taping, adding all the little embellishments, and it is fun, fun, fun. So gals, that's what I have here today. And then, yeah, hopefully I will be seeing a few of your notebooks come the end of May, and then for throughout the summer. Okay, gals, that's it for me today. Until next time, from one paper girly to another,